Everyone talks about nurse burnout, but what about nursing students burnout? She's a CNA, a nurse extern, and a full-term nursing student, and the pressure almost burnt her out. What if burnout starts before you even become a nurse? Balancing nursing school and work took a serious mental toll on her. This is her story. The next generation of nurses is already facing burnout, and we need to talk about it. Watch the full conversation on Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. The journey of becoming a nurse is not always easy. In this episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, nursing student, CNA, and nurse Extern Chinweoke Akinbamidele shares the reality many healthcare students face: burnout while balancing school, work, and life responsibility. Her story is honest, relatable, and inspiring for anyone pursuing a dream while protecting their mental health. Watch the full episode now.
Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where nurses take control, break barriers, and build a future of financial freedom and career success. Whether you're burned out, ready to level up, or looking for the blueprint to thrive, you're in the right place. It's time to lead, grow, and win because your future starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Chichi.
Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, the platform where we discuss real journeys, real challenges, and how people learn to take charge of their lives and career. Today's guest represents the next generation of nurses. Like many healthcare professionals or healthcare students, she has experienced burnout from balancing school and work. Her story reminds us that burnout can begin early in healthcare journey, and learning to protect our well-being while pursuing our dreams is essential. The theme for this episode is the next generation of nurses navigating burnout while pursuing the dream. The goal for this episode is to highlight the reality nursing students face while balancing work and school, normalize conversations about burnout among students, encourage early awareness and healthy coping strategies, inspire future nurses to pursue their calling while protecting their well-being. The guest for today is Chinweoke Akinbamidele, aka Chichi. She happens to be my niece, and she's a nurse in school too, and also works as a CNA. She's like, you know what, I face burnout and I need to talk about it. It's not just nurses or healthcare professionals, students do too. So she's a nursing student, certified nursing assistant, and a nurse extern who is passionate about becoming a pediatric nurse. Her journey includes balancing demanding academic responsibilities with work in healthcare setting, an experience that has sometimes led to burnout, but also has strengthened her resilience and determination. Welcome to today's episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. Hello.
Hello.
Wow, that's good to see you. You finally came, huh? So, are you happy to be here to talk about what we've been talking about all this while?
Yes, I am. I think it's a discussion that needs to be had, and nursing students are a population that aren't really discussed when talking about burnout. So I'm happy to be here to share some light on this.
Wow, I'm happy to see you too. So, what inspired you to pursue nursing, specifically pediatric nursing? Or why do you want to be a pediatric nurse?
So I'm gonna start at nursing. The reason why I decided to come into nursing is because of my desire to help people. Um, I've been someone who loves helping, someone who loves showing love and care to people, especially people in need, not just anyone, but people who need it. And I think the healthcare industry is somewhere where I can do that and help people. Then also a reason why I wanted to become a pediatric nurse is because ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a pediatric nurse. I've always wanted to help kids. I've always loved that. Even when I was a kid, when I was a child, I wanted to help other people. So that's one of the reasons. That's the major reason why I decided to go into pediatric nursing.
Wow. So, what has your journey been like as a nursing student, CNA? and Nurse Extern?
It's been a rocky road, definitely. It's been ups, downs, middles everywhere. It's definitely something that is tough. It's difficult to do, especially when you started your prerequisites. I'm gonna say prerequisites. My first 2 years was nothing like my last 2 years of actual nursing school. And I'm so used to getting A's, A's, A's during my prerequisites, and I started nursing school, and I had this bunch of commitments that were put on my back. And so it's been a lot. It's been something that I've had to actually adjust to, and I've had to learn how to adjust to all the requirements, all the needs. And of course, I recently started my CNA job. I started it last year, so it's not so recent. But I started it just around the time when I started nursing school. And so I had this new burden, something else that was put onto me. And I had to do nursing school as well. And my first semester was a rocky road.
Mm.
We had classes every single day. We had an exam for a specific class every single week. And along that, I was still working 2 days, so Friday and Saturday out of the week. All that along with also having to do, family chores and just maintaining my relationship with members of my family. And so it was really tough trying to adjust and trying to understand how my body works and not overwork myself. And I do think that most nursing students, because of how we always trying to get the highest scores and do the best, we end up working ourselves to a point where we are extremely exhausted. And I think another thing that's also important to note is that sometimes you will not even know that you're exhausted. That was something that happened to me. I just kept on going, 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 going. It was people around me you can tell about that. It was people around me that were telling me that, oh, maybe I was snapping at people because when you're exhausted, you're tired, you're snapping at people, and all those things were making people point out to me that, oh, this is happening, this is happening. So I had to take a step back and actually like look, adjust myself and just look at what's going on in my life and make sure that I don't work myself to a point where I'm extremely burnt out.
Yeah, but one thing about you is that you like to be the best, which is not a bad thing. You like all your A's. I know when you take a test and it's like 90, it makes you feel so mad. Why should it be 90%? You know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's good to have that balance so you don't kill yourself and the grade will still be there. So when did
Yes.
you begin to recognize the mental toll that balancing work and school was taking on you? You said a little bit about that, but do you want to expatiate on that a little bit more?
So this was definitely my first semester. This was during my first semester of nursing school, which was um, last year fall. And at first it was smooth sailing. I was doing great, but because of having to work while going to school full time, I wasn't working full time. I was working every weekend, but having to do that while also going to school full time every single day of the week. I wasn't even really realizing that I was getting exhausted and I was getting burnt out or work or like I was exhausted, but because I just kept on going. But people around me, I would snap at people and I would be exhausted and I would be irritated. And I think, sometimes that's why it's very important to have a good support system that can always keep you in check and look at you and say, okay, this is how you look to us. This is how things are going to us. I hope you're taking some time to yourself and you're relaxing and don't work too much because sometimes you don't know. I think as nurses, it's something that gets ingrained in us to continue pushing. And I'm not
Yeah.
even a nurse yet. I'm still a student.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
there's a lot of culture about, keep on pushing, keep on pushing, keep on pushing. And this is something that is taught even in schools. You want to continue. It's something that they prepare you for. They tell you, your professors will tell you, well, sometimes nurses, they work their entire shift, 12 hours, no break. They just keep on going, going, going. They don't even
But
check
it's not a
themselves.
good thing.
It's not good, but they don't even check themselves to realize, like, oh, I haven't taken my break. They keep on
Or
working,
even
working,
use the
working,
bathroom.
working.
I
Exactly.
always say that because I remember when I used to
So,
walk on the floor as a nurse. Sometimes you go to walk, you running, 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 and you won't even have time to pee. You feel like peeing, but you cannot go because if you
yes,
think about leaving the patient, you cannot. And it's
yes,
not a good thing. That is not a
it's
good
not.
habit. you know. And
Yes.
then when something bad happens, on my last episode, the guest talked about listening to your body. It's very, very
Mm-hmm.
important because sometimes we can stretch that body in such a way that we can end up having a problem that we can never reverse again. Okay.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
you talked about what helped you begin to take charge of your mental health. You talked about the fact that people around you were telling you that you were snapping on people. Is there any other thing that happened that helped you to begin to take charge of your mental health?
I started going to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that really helped me, is that I started seeing someone who was helping me reflect on my actions and actually find the root and the cause of everything. I also guess I started sleeping more.
That's good
I
because you don't
started
sleep.
sleeping more. I don't, but I started sleeping more. And I think as nurses, nursing students, sleep is something that is extremely vital. It's something that for a lot of nursing students, I think is rare to get, like, full 8 hours of sleep. I don't know about that.
But let
But
me ask you. You said for 8 hours. You sleep for 8 hours. I've never known you to sleep for 8 hours. You stay up all night reading or studying.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, full 8 hours isn't something that I think is like a lot of nursing students have been able to get in a long time. But it's important to sleep and rest, even if it's not sleeping. Maybe you're in school after your class, you're going to the next class. We usually have a break in between. You want to rest your head a little bit. That really helps. It helps keep you from getting exhausted and burnt out and worn out. Um, I think that's and hydration. I think hydration. I bought this big water bottle that's 40, I think it's 40 liters. It's a big one and it really helped me. Like, hydration is extremely important. I think that's something that a lot of people also forget to do, especially like if you're on your 12-hour shift, you're forgetting to drink water. If you're forgetting to go to the bathroom, you're definitely forgetting to drink water.
Drink water. Well, that's good advice. I hope you keep up with all that because you need to
Mm-hmm.
take care of you. At some point, it was taking a big toll on you. And I'm glad you're talking about it because sometimes just talking about it, being aware of the problem and talking about it and taking charge is what keeps you alive and keeps you going, right? So, what
Mm-hmm.
advice will you give to other nursing students who may be struggling with burnout?
I would tell other nursing students to kind of
You already talked a
watch
little bit about it.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watch themselves, monitor themselves. Don't get into the culture of I'm just gonna keep on going, 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 going. I'm not even gonna check because that's the culture that is now. I think the next generation of nursing students is something that we can take into nursing, into like as nurses, is making sure we always check ourselves, always monitor ourselves, and make sure that we aren't just going, 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 and aren't checking ourselves. It's important that you always check yourself. You sleep, hydrate, as I said, pray. It's
Pray.
important to pray because it's important to pray. It's important to ask God for help because oof, nursing school is not easy.
It's not easy at
It's
all.
not easy at all. It's not easy at all. But
Yeah.
um at the end of the day, we know where we're trying to get to. And as long as we watch ourselves and we make sure that we don't completely fall apart before we get to the finish
No,
line. I
you
think
don't want to fall apart because you want to achieve that goal that you
yes.
set out for yourself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're
Yes.
talking about, it creating awareness and teaching people or sharing your story about how you took charge and still taking charge. So let me
Yes.
ask you, what does taking charge mean to you at this stage of your journey?
Taking charge, I'll say taking charge of my grades. That's definitely something that I want to
So
take
you're an
charge.
overachiever. So you want all your A's.
Yes.
So go
Yes, I
ahead.
want
What does
all
taking charge
A's.
mean to you?
A plus. Taking charge is just making sure that you are in charge of your life and you're not just going, and not even looking at making sure that you are in charge and that you know exactly what you're doing, you know what you're gonna do next. You've planned yourself out and you're not just allowing your job or school to be in charge of you. You're in charge of all those things. You're not allowing them to be in charge of you. That's what it means to me.
That's what taking charge means to you. That's good. So it's time for rapid fire questions. Are you ready? All right. One
Okay.
word to describe your journey so far.
Exhilarating.
Oh, wow. Mhm. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Tea, coffee, or smoothie?
I'm gonna say coffee. At this point in my life, I drink a lot of coffee.
But I know you like smoothie too.
I do like smoothies, but I guess right now it's more coffee that I'm drinking
Be
because I work night
careful.
shift too. So it's coffee that's
Be
keeping me
careful.
moving.
Coffee queen. So a quote or affirmation that motivates you.
This was one I saw. It's a long time ago I saw this when I was in like my first year of secondary school. I saw it in a yearbook.
So like when you were in middle school, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Um Let your hard work propel you to a speed so fast that success has no choice but to ride with a winner like you.
Oh my goodness. Say it again.
Let your hard work propel you to a speed so fast that success has no choice but to ride with a winner like you.
Wow. I like
I
that.
saw it a long time ago when I was
You
in
need to
like
write that down. I need to put that
it's
in
stuck in
my
my
office so
head.
I can look at it all the time. I like that. So in other words, if you don't work hard, you cannot have success
Yes,
following you.
yes. Work hard to a point that you are the success has no choice but to just come to you and say, you know what, you're the one that I'm gonna be. I have no choice. I've tried to run away from you, but this your hard work is moving you so fast that you keep on catching up with me.
That's good. That's good. So a proud moment in your journey towards becoming a nurse.
A proud moment in my journey towards becoming a nurse. I'm gonna say it's definitely every single time I get an A. That's a proud moment, especially times when I don't study that much and I get an A. I'm like, ah, thank God.
Wow. But you know, sometimes it's not just when you study for the exam, because you study all the time, you know, you still take the exam because you've been preparing at every time. Whatever you learned is still there. And then it comes out and then you just take your test and you still have A.
Mhm.
So what's the biggest lesson burnout has taught you?
Um, to check yourself.
Check
Check.
yourself.
I always think of checks and balances that I learned in civic education when I was in secondary school.
Mhm.
Always make sure that you're checking yourself and that you're not just going because burnout might not be noticeable to you, but definitely the way it affects you will show to other people. So you want to make sure that you get it in check before it causes like you to do something that you don't want to do, or it causes you to get to a point where you just break down. You just break down. You
Wow.
don't know, you just keep going and you just out of it, you just break down.
Yeah. So you just made a point. Burnout is very subtle. It's
Mm-hmm.
very, very subtle. And if you do not start paying attention, it can take you to where you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the point is to let people know that burnout is real, burnout is subtle, and please take charge of your life. Seek for help. Nursing students, seek for help. Talk to someone, talk to the right person. at the end, take charge of your life. Okay? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
want to thank you so much, Chichi, my namesake, for coming to this episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. Thank you so much. So it's
You're
time
welcome.
for good. Thank you so much. All right. It's time for listener reflection prompt. So the question that you have to ask yourself, am I ignoring signs of exhaustion while pursuing my goal? What boundaries can I set to protect my mental health while achieving my dreams? How can I build healthier habits now that will sustain my future career? For financial reflection, you will ask yourself, how does financial pressure influence students to overwork while studying? What financial planning strategies can help students reduce stress while pursuing their career? And how can young professionals build stability early in their journey? So share this episode with a nursing student who may be navigating similar pressure. Subscribe to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi for more conversation that empower healthcare professionals and future leaders. Talk about burnout with them. And if you've had the experience, tell them how you take charge. It might help them. So we have a Take Charge with Dr. Chichi seminar coming up. It's titled 2026 Burnout to Breakthrough, Pause, Rise, Reset, and Rise seminar. And it's coming up on the 2nd of May at Holiday Inn Atlanta, Gulf South Arena. And the address is 6310 Sugarloaf Parkway, Duluth, Georgia 30097. And I encourage you to register. The early bird registration starts is already started and it's ending 1st of April. Set from 2nd of April, the prices will go up. And if you register 5 people, the 6th person will come in free. And you're getting, if you're a nurse practitioner, CNA, LPN, you're getting 5.5 CEU hours. So register now, don't miss it. So register at www.sparklingstar.org. www.sparklingstar.org. So go down to the description and click on the link to register. So every journey begins somewhere, and the next generation of nurses is already showing strength, resilience, and compassion. So remember, taking charge of your well being today protects the career you're building for tomorrow. Keep on taking charge. This is Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, and bye.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.